Hey everybody, this is Coach D here with TackleTrading.com. And you'll recall we did a video about a week ago where we broke down the breakout trade setup. And we set up a little trade plan on KMX, on Carmax, where we put in a little buy stop and we had it trigger an automatic sequential trailing stop. And here we are now. It's been 6 days since we made that video, and it's Tuesday. We placed that trade last week, and it just got triggered today. And so today, that trigger went off, and boom, I saw the little alert pop up. And I'm showing you the virtual version of this in the virtual account, by the way. And it got triggered today right above that high price where we put the buy stop. And I'm actually going to show you here where the order got filled and what's been happening with the trailing stop and how that works. And so I'm going to go here and look at, you can just go click on the message center, and you can see where it bought 100 shares of Carmax KMX, and it picked it up at $100.07. And so it got filled and it got filled at $100. So the stop limit was 100 by 130. So the stop was right above 100. Don't spend more than $100.30. And boom, it got filled. Now, you can actually go look at your monitor page, and you go look at your filled, there's your order history, and it got filled at $100.07. So that's our break-even point. So we've got that $100.07 break-even point. Let me go show you the risk graph. So this is the stock risk graph, and if you're not familiar with risk graphs, you really ought to be. It's a very, very valuable tool. And so you can see, and I got my little drawing tool here. I'm going to grab that and just use this to highlight things. What we have is that purchase price of $100.07. Well, there's $100, and there's the break-even point at $100.07. So that little red hash mark, that's the break-even point. And of course, you'll notice on the graph that that's $0. That's break-even. So that's your cost base. And what we, of course, are hoping is that the stock price continues to rise, 101, 102, 103. Maybe it rises up to 105 or 110. We get lucky and we have the profits. So here, this is your P&L. So you can see that's the profit loss graph. And here you can see the profits and how the graph kind of coordinates, like boom. Oh, that'd be $1,000 profit, right there if it gets out towards 110. So that makes sense. If you bought it at 100 and it was going for 110, that'd be a 10-point profit, and you times 100 shares, you'd be up $1,000. So that's how these little risk graphs work. And of course, there's the negative side of that. And to prevent that from happening, from the stock going down, we have a trailing stop. Now, you'll recall from that previous video, and again, if you haven't watched that, you can click on the link and go back and watch that one. But take a look at the chart here. And again, here's the breakout. And prices are currently just pulled back a little bit off of their high. And so that trailing stop we put in there, that trail stop is for $3.30. Now, you'll recall from the last video that we looked at the ATR. And right now, the ATR is measuring about $2.28. That's a historical volatility measurement. It's telling you how much it's been moving on average. So when we used a $3.30 ATR, you'll recall that we actually increased that. We rounded it up and multiplied it by, I believe, by 1.1 or 1.2 to come up with our answer. And then I just rounded it up and increased it from that. So we had a $3.30 trail stop. And so now that trailing stop is off of the highest price it's been. So if I were to take that down intraday and show you where it reached that 100, that high right there, of $100.70, our trail stop is going to be $3.30 below that, which it is right down there at $97.40. So that is $3.30 lower than the high. Now, in order for that trail stop to keep moving, the stock price would have to start rising again and take out the previous high. And once it takes out the high of $100.70, that trailing stop will start moving up again. It's like a ratchet. It only moves in one direction. So if it got out to 102 even, the trail stop would then be trailing behind that. So if it got up to a high of 102, it would be $3.30 below that, and that would move up. And then if the stock price came down, it would stay in place. And if the stock price went back up, it has to kind of pull up the slack. And that's just how trailing stops work. But so far, so good. The trade, from the time it got filled to where it's currently trading, it's down just a little bit. It's hovering down here at $99.70 some odd cents. and it broke out, and it looks to me like it's doing a little retest intraday. And this is a good sign for the trade so far. So it got filled on the breakout. We got some momentum to the upside, a little profit taking, and then it's pulling back down into the old support resistance here intraday. Got a rising moving average. And whenever you break to a new high on a stock, you're looking for it to potentially continue to rise. Now, we do have to contend with a little bit of noise out here from that old high at 103, and I was comfortable buying it above the $100 price breakout point. But we do have a little bit of old history here, and hopefully it can clear that. And again, a reasonable profit target on this stock is going to be 105, 110. Shouldn't have a problem breaking out that far based off of how big this base was. And if you go back and watch that previous video, we'll kind of show you how we estimated how far we thought it was going to run. But for now, the stock's working. It's running in the right direction. We got our trailing stop in place. And what we're hoping is that the price rises enough to get our stop loss up to that break-even point, at which point in time I'll probably cancel and replace the trail stop with just a break-even stop loss, and then see if we can let the stock run for a profit. And that's going to be how we approach the trade here on KMX. So if you like this video and you enjoyed it and you want to learn more about swing trading, trading in general, trading with stock, trading with options, you name it, come hang out with us over at tackletrading.com. Smash that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. And again, tell your friends. Tackle Trading, we're providing quality trading education for a very, very low price. And again, we're putting out some of this content here on YouTube just to show you what education can do for you.